iron foundry that has been in operation since 1876. When my grandfather started working at this foundry in 1923, there were 20,000 iron foundries in the U.S. When my father started, there were 6,000. When I started my manufacturing career in 1972, there were 2,000. And today, the number of iron foundries is about 400, so declining. When you add all the foundries together, the aluminum, brass, bronze, steel foundries, there's just over 200,000, or 2,000, and the employment in the industry is about 200,000, and the value added is about 30 billion in this industry. Yet it's an important part of the industry because nothing moves without a casting. It is one of the building blocks that exists. Rob talked about the industry, and it is a mature industry. In fact, the first manufacturing plant in the New World in 1642, the Saugus Iron Works was a foundry. And so we are a mature industry. Small foundries, like many of the small manufacturing companies, have the image of all the D words. Dark, dangerous, depressing, decaying, declining, and go on, dirty, and performance that is disappointing. I wish that I could say that the perception is wrong, but the reality is that most foundries deserve to be identified with these D words. There are firms within my industry, and certainly there are many manufacturing firms in the U.S. that are setting world-class standards. In the past few years, I've visited more than 50 manufacturing innovation firms around the world, and I'm absolutely blown away by the innovative approach that big and small companies are using to solve challenges. But it isn't happening here in the mature industries. For the foundry industry, there are really three types of company. First, there are these big multi-plant groups that are owned by venture firms that are primarily interested in flipping these companies. There certainly isn't much innovation or recapitalization that is taking place at these firms. The second group is the huge part of our industry, which is 80% of the 2,000 foundries, and they are small businesses with less than 100 employees. And they have only one goal, and that's to stay alive. They are out there, they're working in their business, and there's very little innovation that's taking place there. And finally, there's a small group of companies that are large enough to recapitalize their plants with the best equipment in the world. What the NNMI will do, and specifically what an Institute for Manufacturing Innovation focused on mature industries will do, is to bring the best of already established technologies, equipment, processes, and people to companies that have stopped innovating 30 years ago. You can argue the reason for this decline in productivity in these industries. It could be regulations, world competition, economic cycles, poor management, unions, employee skills. But the reality is that our manufacturing infrastructure is aging and no longer meets our customers' needs. Our company is successful today because of a lot of good people. We are also successful because of two government programs. In 1981, there was a recession. I don't see enough gray hair here to have people that lived through that recession. But in the manufacturing area, it was defined as the Rust Bowl. We lost 80% of our sales during that time period. And we had really no reason, economic reason, to stay in business. But at the very worst of all those times, we did receive a small business administration loan, and that kept us going and allowed us to continue and reinvent our business. The second government program that has defined our company is the Manufacturing Extension Partnership. It was Enterprise Minnesota, a NIST MEP affiliate, which provided the catalyst to move us aggressively on our lean journey. The impact on a 137-year-old company is amazing. 8 years ago, these were the numbers for our foundry, and they were very typical of others in the industry. Our on-time delivery was at 85%. The work in process inventory that we had in our plant was 30 days of production. The finished goods inventory that existed was another 30 days. 2.2% of our product was returned from our customers as being not acceptable. And lead time was 8 weeks. Definitely the D word for performance that is disappointing. Today, it's dramatically different. On-time delivery is 99.5%. Work in process is 18 hours, not 30 days. Finished goods are at 3 days. Returns are now less than 0.2%, and that includes paperwork errors. And lead time is at 2 weeks. We are also adding value to our customers with a new in-house machining operation, a paint line, and will soon be adding a complex heat treating operation. Perhaps we need to define a new D word for performance, and that would be delightful. Our customers are certainly pleased with that performance. My point is that this can be done in a mature industry, but it needs an outside push. My concern is that the small successes in modernizing old plants are not happening fast enough to take advantage of the current reshoring opportunities. A senior supply chain manager at Caterpillar made this comment: industry has a unique opportunity to win back a lot of business that left to chase lower costs in years past. But they have to do it with superior customer service, quality, delivery, and world-class total cost. The message is that we will not be satisfied with the status quo. A John Deere manager said, "We are also concerned with the continued lack of interest from many founders in the U.S. who continue to resist adding operations and services for their customers, sticking only to providing raw castings and not fully machined castings and paint. This is more broadly available and the accepted practice in other parts of the world, giving overseas foundries a competitive supply chain advantage." A Komatsu America exec said, "We are developing additional offshore suppliers due to the failure of domestic foundries in maintaining technology and keeping pace with the market needs and capacity requirements." It is my opinion that the National Network for Manufacturing Innovation is a critical element in the manufacturing renaissance that needs to take place in the U.S. The original equipment manufacturers have expressed a desire and a real need to source components close to final assembly plants. If we cannot significantly improve the capabilities and performances of the manufacturing infrastructure, we will lose our last best chance to keep manufacturing as a driving force in the economy. My final double D word is don't delay. Fund and implement the NNMI.
Thank you, Denny.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. As cited in the report released this morning, Lockheed Martin believes that a national network for manufacturing innovation is not just the right initiative, it's the right initiative at the right time. There are 4 profound benefits that we see from this initiative. First benefit, I will call accelerated best practice sharing. The institutes that will be stood up in this national network will be uniquely positioned to be able to foster collaboration and share best practices in a way that is very challenging for either universities or members of industry. And the reason, as Denny referenced, is it's really what we call the technology readiness level or the manufacturing readiness level where you spend most of your time. Universities are largely focused on basic research and then tread into the applied research space. Industry is largely focused on full-scale production with limited visibility on the basic research that's occurring. The connections and the innovation connections that the institutes will make will be what will foster best practice sharing in an accelerated way that is very much needed. Second benefit is not just innovation in manufacturing, but it's innovation in the front-end process of design. We are rapidly exiting the era when manufacturing is the follower to a design team that is conceiving a product. What we're now seeing